In terms of joint replacement surgery, one of the great things about Proliance is it really is a collection of very well-recognized, highly trained specialists and subspecialists. So I think that's part of what makes Proliance unique. We have a large enough group that we can, each of us individually, pick that area that we're particularly interested in and continue to develop that expertise. One of the things that I'm passionate about are the proven methods in terms of minimally invasive surgical techniques that really have upped the game, not only in terms of that traditional joint replacement and doing it better with less pain and less post-operative physical therapy, but also alternatives to those traditional joint replacements like partial knee replacement, what we call multi-compartmental knee replacement, minimally invasive hip replacements, and alternatives along those lines as well. For the huge majority of people who end up in one of our offices for a joint replacement, that process has been a long process. It started off maybe with a minor joint ache, but the reality is that the arthritis almost always progresses. And eventually that arthritis progresses to the point where the knee is, or the hip is stiff, it's very painful, it's increasingly painful, and everything starts really to be centered around that painful joint. So really what gives joint replacement its critical role in medicine today is that it can, in one operation, turn that patient from debilitated, thinking only about that painful knee or hip all day long, every day, to an active, healthy patient who may not ever think about that joint again after they get it operated on. From my point of view, the biggest cures or aid in anxiety are knowing that you're in the right place with the right expert and education. That expert takes the time to actually listen and understand what the patient's problem is and how it's affecting their life. And then that the patient starts to realize that every option is going to be offered to them and that they're given the time to express themselves and their concerns and time to make that decision. And I think Proliance is one of those last places where the patient and the surgeon are really truly at the center of all those medical decision-making processes so that we can make sure that the patient stays our highest priority. At Proliance Surgeons, the patient is always our first concern.